Hello. Today in part 2 of making an escape room in Godot 4, I'm going to show you how to implement a drag and drop inventory you can use for these puzzle games. If you missed part 1, you can watch it here. I have added an area 2D and collision to each item. We will start by making a script called item for the drag and drop items. We will add a variable called dragging. Under physics process, we will put if dragging global position equals lerp, global position, comma, get global mouse position, comma, 30 times delta. Lerp will smooth the transition from one spot to the next. We will connect the input event signal for the item and put if event is input event mouse button and event.button index equals mouse button left. If event.pressed, dragging equals true, else dragging equals false. We will add a dragging cursor for the mouse later. Now when we first click an item, we don't want to drag it, but want it to automatically go into our inventory. We will create a variable called picked up and set it to false. We will also add a variable for drop location ID and drop location. We will add an export variable, item ID, to identify certain items in code. I've added node 2Ds to the inventory slots, which will be used for the positions the items will be, and area 2Ds and collisions, which we will use later. Under the script, we will add variables that will store whether the slots are filled. We will add some functions to fill and empty slots. We will take in a number to identify the slot that should be filled, and use a match statement to match the number taken in and fill the appropriate slot. If slot equals 1, slot 1 will be filled. If slot equals 2, slot 2 will be filled, and so on. We will make a similar function to empty a slot. We will create a function to choose a slot. We will take in an item. We will create a variable for chosen slot. We will go through each inventory location and place the item in the first available slot. We will set that slot to filled and set the item's drop location ID to that slot if it is not filled. We will go back to the item's area input event and we'll add another if and else to handle if an item has been picked up. We'll add if not picked up and if not dragging, global position equals get parent dot choose slot self. We will set the z-index to 10. This is just to make sure that the item appears on the screen on top of everything else, and add picked up equals true. We will add an else and check event pressed after that. Next we will code how to get our item to snap to the last location that it was, where it can be dropped whenever we drop it. We will add the item's area to the group item. In our escape room script, we will add a function to set the drop location of an item. It will match the drop location ID of the item and return the drop location, which will be a global position to move the item to. We will connect the area entered signal to the escape room script for each of the inventory slots. If the area is in the group item, we will empty the slot of its parent's drop location ID, change its parent's drop location ID to the number of the slot, and fill that slot. Next we will go to the item script. We will add a variable dropped and set it to false. Under the else statement in the physics process, we will add if picked up and if not dropped. Drop location equals get parent, set drop location self. We will add global position equals lerp, global position drop location 20 times delta. For each item we will add a timer and set it to 1 shot, and set its wait time to something like 0.2 seconds. We will connect its timeout signal to our item script, and on its timeout, set drop to true. This will prevent us from picking up 2 items at once and putting them in the same slot. We will add a variable, timer off, and set it to true. Under the physics process function, we will start the timer if the timer is off. we will set timer off to false. In the timeout function, we will set timer off back to true. Under if dragging, we will change the mouse cursor to the grab cursor. Under the input event, we will set the cursor back to hand if the button isn't pressed. We only want to switch it back once, not continuously, so the mouse icon will still switch to the hand icon, only when we can click on something. All the other items to drag and drop should be given the item script, given an ID number, and have their Area 2D connected to the input event inside the script, and be added to the item group. They should also have a timer added, and have the timeout signal connected to the onTimer timeout function in the item script. Finally, we want to be able to use an item on a part of the room to solve a puzzle. We will connect the part of the room's area entered signal. Then check if the area is an item. Then check its item ID to see if it is the correct item. Then code whatever we want to happen in the room. We can use the item by clearing its drop location and calling queueFree on it. Thanks for watching. If you found this helpful, please like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you.